Apparently a lot of water gathered up on top because when I lowered the front, all this water came shuffling off the top. Look at all that water. So there's water over here. Water all over the place. This is bad. So looks like it's mostly pooled up here in the corner. So we've all seen the RV videos out there lately.
What the heck happened to the RV industry?
Are all RVs junk?
RVs that look like they had better quality in them. We were really disappointed, folks.
Well, let's take a look at the truck manufacturers.
Recent recall of Ford Bronco and Escape vehicles.
More than 100,000 F-150s being recalled.
Dodge is recalling more than 300,000 Ram trucks in the U.S.
Have you seen the news reports on Boeing lately?
A gaping hole in the side of the aircraft and terrified passengers at risk of being sucked out of the cabin.
And just made an emergency landing at LAX after losing a wheel.
Boeing, where a whistleblower is testifying about what he calls the company's broken safety culture.
So are we expecting to hold a company like Ember RV or any RV manufacturer to the same standards as Boeing or Ford or Dodge? North American manufacturing is falling short all over the place. And I'm supposed to think that this one RV company is going to rise above it all. Hey man, they're subject to the same problems that the entire continent is having in the manufacturing areas. So I'm going to cover here the things that are currently broken or having to get repaired on my Ember. And there are 5 things here we're going to talk about. But before I get to that, let's talk about all the things that do work on my Ember. To qualify this list, it has to be anything that has worked the whole time or worked after the first warranty repair. Let's take a look at the list. The independent suspension, the brakes, the corrugated plastic underside cover is still fully intact. The fold down stairs work great. The outdoor water hookup for the hose, the Nautilus water system, the front compartment doors. There's been no excessive rust or wear underneath the trailer. The bathroom fan has been fine. Toilet works. The movable bunks and shelves have been great. The rear access door is fine. It tows really well. The shower door, the microwave, the refrigerator, the shower miser, they all work. I love the cargo door bug screen. Air conditioner, television. The fold down Murphy bed works fine. The Trubicombi water and space heater system is great. The inverter, very solid floors. Solar panels, the Battleborn batteries, stove, the electric awning. Off-road performance has been great. The primary couch has been great. The slide out has worked. The shower, the indoor lighting system, indoor USB chargers, they've all worked. The stove vent fan's great. The propane system is solid. The pre-wired backup camera worked. The sewer drainage system, stabilizer jacks, exterior AC plugs, they all work. All the windows and screens, including the Stargazer sunroof, work great. The dealer installed slide out cover has been a great choice. Cabinet doors, the Ember Lippert control panel, and of course, the kitchen sink. So I wanted to make that big long list to offset all the complaints that I hear. With any brand and any product out there, people generally don't post what works. What they do is they post what doesn't work. They complain, and rightfully so. I mean, that's what stands out to you. The handful of things that are broken here, they really affect me dearly. But let's face it, the majority of this trailer, the vast majority, has worked as planned. Listen, I love my Ember Overland 191 MSL. If I knew then everything that I know now, I would still buy it. I really enjoyed my initial trips with it. I've enjoyed my trips since. I got to do that huge trip last year for my 50th birthday, and I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without this Ember. But as you saw in the beginning, there were some issues that I need to have dealt with here, and let's go through that list here, which is leaks. Yes, there are more darn water leaks in this trailer. I had the Lippert Gate Defender hitch break, which you might have seen in my last video. There's moisture developing inside the power port where I hook up the external shore power to the trailer. Even though they put down that new flooring, there's one little section where it's a little warping or coming up from the floor. And I still have some drawers opening up when I'm driving and taking hard turns or hitting bumps. So the water leaks. So as the complaint says, a massive water dump came off the retracted slide out when the customer tilted the RV forward a few degrees. It's been parked since the second week in January, and the rain and snow clearly got in. The customer wanted it noted that the slide was recently removed and reinstalled when the floors were replaced. They inspected, dried the unit out thoroughly with air movers and dehumidifier. They did a water test. They noticed that the leak was coming in the outer wheel well, They set up drying equipment, performed water tests, and after several hours, they did find some more water. They cleaned and cap sealed the slide belt molding and added a piece of bulb seal. Apparently a lot of water gathered up on top, because when I lowered the front, all this water came shuffling off the top. Look at all that water. So there's water over here. Clearly all the water has been running into the back here. You can see pools of it right there. Let me go check from the other side here. All right, so again, water all over the place. This is bad. They did a water test and basically it all came out okay. Now, as I'll talk about in a minute, it was not covered under warranty. And this really surprised me. I mean, my trailer, if you look back at some of my early videos, had a whole lot of problems with water leaking in. We know that with these early models, with the Embers, that there were some inherent problems and flaws in the way they were designed, and they leaked water. Admittedly, I did go months after the fix without any water leaking during the drier season of the year, and we had a fairly dry summer this year. After all that, leaks developed again when the rain season kicked in. And this was also after the slide out had been removed and put back in. And if you look back to when my slide out got repaired, I even said this. And in the work order, it specifically says they even removed the slide out in its entirety to get full access to the floor. I find that quite surprising and it's awesome. Of course, I'm a little spooked. It's like you took the slide out. It worked so perfectly before. I hope it keeps working perfectly now. So I was worried all the way back then, like, oh boy, you know, I'm like one of the few people that didn't have any slide out leaks with my Ember. I hope I don't have any now that they've removed the slide out. But of course, they said that that's not the cause. Furthermore, Ember pointed out that resealing and periodically, seasonally going through and putting sealing and sealant down on your trailer is the responsibility of the owner. They wrote that Woody's is correct in stating that the sealing would not be covered under warranty because that falls under routine maintenance. The only time a leak is covered under warranty is when the root cause was a defect in the materials or the workmanship by Ember. So what I can deduce from that, and I'll make this official recommendation, I think, to everybody, is you should assume that Ember's workmanship does not include the trailer being sealed from the world and from the water for more than a year or so. Basically, a year and a half after I bought it, it's leaking all over the place. And the fix to that is to have a bunch of new sealant put down. Maybe I'm a little naive. I always understood that, you know, within a year or two, you're going to need to start resealing the trailer. But I did not really think it was going to be a year and a half after owning it, while it was still under warranty, no less. But maybe that's my ignorance here. Maybe I expected the trailer to stay sealed, that initial sealant would last, you know, more than a year or two. My bad, I guess. And so they wrote, they reviewed the pre-authorization and the previous work that has been done to address the wheel well leak has been done, and that they don't believe this issue to be related to materials or workmanship by Ember. Now, whether it's Woody's determining that the slide out being removed and come back in was maybe part of that problem, or whether it's Ember deciding that, you know, the fact that it's leaking within 2 years of buying it is not indicative of their problem. That's sort of your problem. It all points to sort of an inherent conflict of interest that exists anytime somebody is guaranteeing or warrantying their work. In the end, when you have a warranty with your manufacturer, or whether I'm going to the dealership to guarantee the work they've previously done, in the end, I have to go to the parties that would be financially responsible in this case and ask them, hey, is it your opinion that you would be financially responsible for fixing this? Now, we all know how that works. It's in most people's best interest to simply say, nope, if you're asking me if I voluntarily am going to pay for something, no, I'm not going to voluntarily pay for it. Companies are going to act in their best interest. In the name of good customer service, they'll obviously offset that with trying to make the customer happy and doing what they can. And so the line that they're going to draw for where they feel that they would be financially responsible for fixing this or remedying this is simply going to be in a very different place than you as the consumer think that line should be. And those lines are rarely going to touch or overlap. In the end, you're going to want things covered that the company's not going to cover under warranty, or your dealer is not going to repair for a second time after they've already repaired it once. As we all know, the RV industry is not where it was during peak pandemic times when the whole world was trying to buy an RV. That's not quite happening right now. And so I imagine that whatever those thresholds are, wherever that bar is that says, okay, yeah, no problem, we'll cover this, that bar is going to move when the well starts to run dry, when money gets tight, when sales are drying up. And that's sort of where we are in the industry. So I would expect that whatever I was getting a year ago, as far as customer service or the ability for a company to decide to pay for something, that's going to be different now a year later when the economy is tightening up, interest rates are higher, we know the sales are down. I mean, I just got back from Woody's and I can see that their lot had considerably less RVs than they had in their peak seasons. And I've noticed that at all the RV dealerships in my area that they all seem to be running a little light on inventory as sales have dried up a bit. Hey, so be it. The sealant falls to me going forward. I had to pay over $700 to Woody's to have all that sealant done. And they were sealing things that I didn't even understand how it related. Like they were sealing around my air conditioning unit and things like that. I didn't quite understand why, but they did. And the other thing that was kind of funny is they installed that bulb seal, and to me, it seemed weird. You're adding another bulb seal where there's already seals. And when I looked down my side view mirror, down the side of the trailer, I noticed that down there where the wheel well was, it was sort of bulging out a little bit. It didn't line up straight like it always did. And I was wondering about it, and I went and looked, and it's because that extra bulb seal meant that when the slide out came in, there was a little bit of a bulge or a little bit of extra pressure there where it closed, and it was pushing the side out a little bit. I didn't think it was really going to cause a problem, but it did seem indicative that there shouldn't be a seal there if it's making the slide out bend a little bit around the wheel well. And funny enough, when I asked Ember about the bulb seal, they stated in writing that the install of the bulb seal is post-manufacturing and not a component the factory would have installed. And right as we went on our first camping trip after they installed it, the first time I pulled the slide out, it just dropped. It just fell. It wasn't even glued in properly. So just an hour, a couple hours after we've had this out, it's the very first time we pulled it out, and this seal just comes straight off. This is the extra seal, I guess, they put on. I mean, what was the point? What? Okay. Well,
I'm not touching it.
Let them know. Yeah, it's fine. So the bulb seal was sort of a moot point, right? I paid to have it installed. Ember didn't think it was there to be installed or should have been installed. And it fell off, and now it's just in the back of my truck. I don't even know if I want Woody's to reinstall it because it feels like it should never have been there in the first place. So again, if you buy an Ember or really any trailer, they're going to expect it to fall to you, the owner, after a year to be resealing this thing. So I recommend that within a year of you buying this trailer or any trailer, that you do a full resale across the whole RV within the first 12 months. I'm going to be doing that the next couple of weekends. I'm just going to get a bunch of sealant and just get out there with my caulking gun and seal everything I can. I'm sure it'll look bad because when I do it, it never looks great. Funny story, when I sold my last RV and the tradesman who was buying it was looking at all the caulk around the windows and all the sealant, he's like, wow, there's a lot of extra sealant here. And I said, yeah, well, I'm not a pro and I want to make sure it was sealed. And he said, well, you can use tape to tape off the edges. And I said, I did. So yeah, my work will keep it sealed, but it's not going to look pretty. Now, I did notice all that water in the back, and just to address that, the cargo latch on the big cargo side door was in fact not working and not set right. It was one of the things they did fix when I bring it in under just general repair, since they had fixed it before and it never seems to stick. So they fixed it so that it does latch again. But while it was parked, we had some very heavy and windy rainstorms, multiple days of it. And the side of my trailer where the side cargo door is right where the wind hits it. The latch was not completely shut on there, even though I had the little twist tabs at the side twisted closed. And if you look in some of the videos and pictures I took, you can see this little bit of discoloration where it looks like water got in the cargo door. Now, they weren't able to replicate that after they fixed the latch. And I have not seen much water there since then. I did find a little bit of water there once since then, but I've checked the RV now repeatedly after rain and visited the RV, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and there doesn't seem to be any more water coming into the back. So let's hope I don't see any more water in there. And again, I'll be sealing it up a lot in the next few weeks with a whole lot of sealant. Now, the hitch. On my last camping trip, we had the Lippert Gate Defender hitch break. So it finally happened to us. The jack just stopped working. So what makes it easier is if I hold it on extend, now it's much easier for her. So clearly it's like the motor.
The motor's bound up.
Yeah, the motor's bound up, I mean, it's greased to the hilt. Luckily, we figured out how to override it. Luckily, we had our Starlink there because we were out of range from our cell phones. We were able to connect to the internet, check out everybody's tricks and double check the manual, and we were able to override it and get out of there. Now, as some people have mentioned, originally the Gate Defender did have a 700-pound limit. It's now a 750-pound limit. I've mentioned that in the past, that I had concerns about it. But Lippert did write back to Woody's when I asked about it, and they gave some very specific information. Number one, the 700-pound original limit on the Gate Defender has been upgraded to 750 pounds by the manufacturer. So it's now a 750-pound limit. And if you look at my trailer, which is just over 5,000 pounds gross vehicle weight rating, and if you go by the maximum tongue weight allowable, which is 15%, and it is a little tongue heavy, that comes right up to 750 pounds. So the hitch is maxed out at 100% capacity, and that's not including lifting the truck up a few inches to put the weight distribution bars on. So it's probably going a little over that. And let's face it, things can go over their rating a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you are towing over some of your ratings. So I don't think it's entirely an underpowered device. I think, though, that because it is pushing right to the max limits, yes, you need to keep it very, very greased, which I did. But for whatever reason, the electric motor did burn out. So for right now, I'm running it on an override. I'm literally having to manually turn the nut to get it to lower, which takes a little while. I just got a half-inch extension for my drill, so I can just go and put the socket on there and just start using my drill. Just waiting for a little elbow because it is a rather tight spot. You can't go in directly on the front. You have to come in at an angle. So the good news is that they are covering it under warranty, but that part has to be ordered in. So on my next couple of camping trips, I'm gonna have to go manual, which is why I bought these extra parts for my drill. Hey, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. However, if this new one breaks, especially after warranty, then I will look at just getting an entirely new, either traditional post-style hitch receiver or maybe a manual one. I'm not really sure yet. Let's hope that doesn't continue to be a problem, and I'll let everyone know after it's fixed. I'll say it one more time. If you have one of these and you're not regularly greasing the screw with some, red and tacky brand grease specifically, then you're likely going to have a problem. So keep it lubed. I also had water leaking into the power port. A few other folks reported this on the Facebook groups. I went and looked, and indeed I saw moisture inside. There's still moisture inside. Just open it up. That water just dripped out. You can see the drip. You can see the condensation. Luckily, Ember has agreed now to reseal it, even though that's not necessarily covered under warranty because it's resealing. They have agreed to let Woody's fix that. So when I bring it in for the hitch, they will go and pull the gasket off and reseal it, hopefully with some butyl and then some sealant. If this part takes forever to come in, I might do that myself, but I'd really like to let the pros do it, especially since Ember offered. The floor warping. Yes, I had my whole vinyl floor replaced because I had that traditional black floor problem that the early Embers had. So far it's been great and it looks really nice, but we had one little spot right by the sink, kind of over where the heater port comes out, where it's just a little warped. It's almost like it expanded just a little bit, probably because it's near the heater port and this vinyl has expanded over a few of our camping trips. We've been keeping the heater cranked because it's been cold out, and the bathroom, when that door is shut, tends to get warmer than the rest of the trailer, and so it seems that vinyl has expanded, and so they're going to need to trim a a few millimeters off and re-caulk the edge down. They have it on their list, and again, when I bring it in for the have the hitch replaced, they're going to be covering that under warranty. And finally, the drawers keep opening up. But mainly it's one drawer. They didn't seem to want to cover this under traditional warranty. I was surprised. I don't understand why that's a maintenance task, but apparently that's something that now falls to me. However, again, Ember did try to meet me in the middle, and they sent me new drawer slides or drawer guides. I'm going to have to install them myself. I should be able to figure it out. I haven't even opened them up yet. I'll probably do it on my next long camping trip. But we'll see if that works. I'm going to see however else you can adjust these things so that they don't pop out. I'll probably end up with a third-party fix, some sort of drawer strap or something, button the drawer shut before the trips. Just because, you know, even when those drawer slides are in there, eventually you go over a rock when you're off-roading and stuff, and those drawers open up. I just don't want that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fix this one more time. But after this, I'm going to just look for a third-party aftermarket little attachment that I can secure the drawers to be shut when I'm driving. If you have any ideas, please comment below. And that's it. You know, we've been really busy. It's why you've seen a little less camping videos. Wife was a little ill, and then we had to deal with tax season, which for us got a little out of control this year. And just a lot of, you know, it's busy at work, and I'm making all those RVs Gone Wild videos that so many tens of thousands of people seem to be enjoying. But we're going to be going out camping in the next couple of weeks, so expect some more camping videos. And I think we're going to take a day trip with the RV over to the Tulip Festival and fly the drone around. The Tulip Festival here in Abbotsford is gorgeous. It's like being in Holland sometimes over here. And so expect some videos coming out real soon. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Click like on this video. Check out some of my other videos. I've got a few camping videos. I'll put a camping video right here, and then I'm going to put a RVs Gone Wild video down here, and I'm going to throw one of those cool, crazy crash videos down here. And hey, just because my hitch isn't working, or I got to deal with some other, you know, warped floor, that doesn't matter to me, because one thing I'm going to do this summer is get out there and get busy living. You do the same. Thanks, everyone.